I convey greetings and regret from the Honorable Matt Brantley, whose duties in the other half of paradise accounts for his absence from this activity this morning. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Aviation is pleased to participate in this simple yet significant handing over ceremony of an ambulance and a bus to the Ministry of Health and the local Red Cross respectively by the government of the United States of America through its Agency for International Development, USAID, with assistance from the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Society. The ministry joins with the Ministry of Health in expressing appreciation to the American government for its usual response to humanitarian appeals and for specifically tailoring assistance based on our capacity, thus providing the exact items needed. The ambulance, a single item, may be perceived small, but it is indeed significant in light of the fact that, one, it has been gifted and will more than likely free up funds perhaps originally allocated in the ministry's budget to be channeled to bolster other aspects of the health system. Two, it will undoubtedly enable the health teams to respond more quickly to medical emergencies. And three, it will facilitate faster medical treatment, thereby enhancing service delivery. If there is one truism that the coronavirus disease COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted, is that in an increasingly interconnected world, a health threat anywhere is a threat everywhere. Indeed, this recognition prompted a slew of countries to close their borders to prevent the coronavirus disease from reaching their shores and spreading throughout their communities. In our case, we did so early, which largely contributed to our success in delaying the entry and spread of the virus. Further, this pandemic is a stark reminder that many of the pressing health issues facing nations are now inherently transnational, if not global. Locally, we have been calling for all of society approach, and globally requires no less. Indeed, it has reinforced the responsibility of countries with the wherewithal to support countries with limited resources to tackle health problems within their own borders. The ministry, and by extension the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, commends the United States for not only recognizing its responsibility, but also fulfilling it, be it through donation of equipment, building capacity, or provision of financial resources to assist countries to combat the spread of the virus. We are grateful for the earlier donation of 10 ventilators in August last year, while we were still in the throes of the battle against the disease. We recognize that the United States is not immune to the disease, and in fact has recorded the highest number of fatalities worldwide. We pause to express sincere condolences to the families who today continue to mourn their loss due to the disease, and empathize with your government as it feverishly continues to limit the impact of this deadly virus on the American people. Our prayers are with you, Ambassador. Solidarity is building on elements of relationships among individuals, peoples, and states, and underpins global partnerships. St. Kitts and Nevis, therefore, cherishes the almost 38 years of formal relations between our two nations and the mutual solidarity that has helped to solidify this bond. It has indeed grown in depth and breadth under your tenure, Your Excellency, and we anticipate a further strengthening of ties under this new administration. In the initial phase of the fight against this global health challenge, we were pleased to witness a universal solidarity among families, communities, and nations. We are where we are today because of our homebred experts, but we have come this far as a consequence of the benevolence of our bilateral friends, such as the United States of America and international partners such as the IFRC. We believe that our success to date at curbing the spread of the disease within our community puts us in a good place to warrant further attention and assistance as we move to achieve herd immunity. This is an opportune juncture to therefore make an appeal for a similar show of solidarity from the United States and others with respect to ensuring equitable access to vaccines, and call upon all nations to realize that the actions of each nation globally will ultimately have an impact on its own welfare domestically. Ample evidence exists that proves that strong and resilient health systems are necessary for achieving sustained positive health outcomes. So we make a call for resources to bolster health systems even in the post-COVID stage. The pandemic calls for a uniting of the entire global community to build societal resilience to cope with the next crisis. We believe solidarity and unity of action can assist in mitigating against trends that will render the world vulnerable to the spread of infectious diseases. In closing, we again thank the U.S. government through USAID and the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent for continuing to engage with bilateral and multilateral donor partners to coordinate global response efforts, identify funding needs, address operational challenges, and to select the most appropriate mechanisms to fill identified response gaps. Indeed, the ambulance will fill a well-needed gap. Thank you very much.